yeah, even pants. That was a good way to start.
And we live talking about no pants potty.
Or having pants on for once.
That's the thing. Nobody ever knows. How many people do Zoom meetings for work and they just wear like their fucking polo or whatever and they have no pants on? I mean, how would they know?
A lot. I'm sure it's happened a lot.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I may or may not have done this, but 99%
you gotta
of
be
the
comfortable.
Time, right. 99% of the time I'm wearing sweatpants, which I am right now. I like my sweatpants. They're lovely.
I'm wearing sweatpants too, and they're so comfortable and warm.
I know,
because
right?
I refuse to turn on the heat.
I am not turning my furnace on. I refuse until at least November. I've got to make it through Halloween, and then I'll consider turning it on.
I am pushing to make it Halloween. If it snows on Halloween again this year, I'm gonna have to turn it on. But
we'll cross that.
You're all crazy. I turned the heat on.
So I didn't turn my heat on, but I did bust out my little heaters, which doesn't count.
Exactly. I have to just I told Jordan to turn it on for me when he leaves for work in the morning. Mm-hmm. So the bite is off when I get out of bed because it's a shock to me and I don't like it.
No, it's not nice.
It's so cold. I'm not ready.
And I sweat a lot in my sleep, so like
you got that cold sweat.
You uncover and you're like, oh
yeah, especially right around the bottom of your back.
Mm-hmm.
So
places
gross.
You don't like being cold or not used to being cold, and it like strikes you and you're like, oh.
I was gonna say cold or wet.
Well, first and foremost, our prayers are going out to Florida right now because it's not good.
Mm-mm.
And I'm glad to see that all these people are coming across saying, hey, if you can make it out, come here. We've got land. Bring your animals. We'll help. I'm really glad to see that.
It's amazing, all the farmers and homesteaders that have stepped
There's
up.
even people that have an acre of land and they're like, come here, we'll figure it out. Yeah, I'm glad to see it.
Put up a temporary fence. We'll let you graze your animals here. Put them here.
Don't leave your animals there penned up. Please.
Jesus Christ. No, absolutely not. Ugh.
It's crazy.
Yep.
That and the wildfires out in Wyoming.
Wyoming, all out west. So
yeah,
out west,
Canada, everywhere.
Up here, west and north is on fire.
The UP up there,
drowning.
Yeah, it's not good. It's so dry. It's weird this time of year.
So weird. Yes. I mean, we've had a few fires in Michigan. As far as I know, they've been contained, but.
Well, knock on wood, they stay that way because I'm over this year.
Yup. 2024 has been interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah, it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, on a better note, this Saturday, Grayling, Michigan, at Mary Becker's Heart of Up North Realty, which is right on M72. I think it's 6674. Yeah. We are having a Jeep meet. And we're having it for Toys for Tots. The kids need a good Christmas. They need a good Christmas whenever we can give it to them. And we're going to try our best to do that. And it's looking really good. We've got Jeeps coming in from all over, even out of state.
Nice.
Toys for Tots. They have been helping big time. We have got baskets coming out of our ears that have been donated, and they're still coming in. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Food. Nobody's going to go away hungry. The food is out of this world. The donations that have come in. It's unbelievable the food that's going to be there. Readers, Chelsea and I and Kevin will be there. And if there's time, we're going to hook up and do a quick podcast while we're there. Just so you guys can see every crazy thing we do.
We'll do like a Facebook Live type thing. So make sure you're on the Tipsy and Witchy Facebook.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, it's all going for the kids. So bring a toy if you want to come to it. Everybody's welcome. Bring a chair because I know there's not going to be enough at this point. But it's a big place. You're going to have fun. I brought in a huge ass rubber duck that you can take photo ops with.
Inflatable.
Oh, yeah, he's big. And then Snickers is ready. I don't have time to decorate my Jeep, but everyone else is welcome to decorate their Jeeps. We've got trophies for best costume, longest miles traveled to get there, and something else. And I can't remember what it is, and I'm the one that dreamed these up.
Isn't it best dressed Jeep?
Oh,
Isn't
yes,
that
yes,
one of them?
that's it. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a great time, and I just want you all to come out and enjoy it. And remember, bring a toy for entry or a cash donation. And it's totally going to be worth your time. The leaves are changing. You can go for a ride, whatever. It's great. So please come out.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it, do it, do it.
You know you want to.
So is there any other announcements?
And it's from 12 to 5, right?
Yes, ma'am.
12 to 5. Grayling.
And then right afterwards, if you want to come see Chelsea, she's singing at the American Legion in Grayling at 7 to 10.
No. Not the 12th. 19th.
Not the 12th?
Not the 12th. Only the 19th.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Did we fix that?
I don't know.
We better fix that.
As far as I know, it's listed as the 19th, so.
I swore it said the 12th on there too.
Mm-mm.
We'll check.
No, I am not
Ixnay the
singing
12th,
this
eh?
week, but I am singing the 19th at the American Legion.
For sure.
Yes.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, we'll check on that because there's people that think you're singing.
No, not this weekend.
Okay. All right. Sounds
Maybe you
good.
get her to sing there.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's hard to sing and do readings at the same time.
No, but you could strum your guitar and do one or two.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Depends
I
on how
know
busy
people
I
would
am.
love that.
You're
Depends on how
welcome.
busy I am.
Yeah, thank you, Conrad.
If I'm doing readings, I won't have time.
Oh, I see. Okay. But who knows? It's a mystery. I will have my babies with me. So if anybody wants to see my babies, I will be bringing one or two or a few.
Which one's you gonna bring?
Well, my newest and greatest baby Beetlejuice will be there. And I think you should bring Annabelle.
What if I forget her, though? I'll be so sad.
You won't forget her. Trust me, your mother's there.
Oh, yeah, good point.
I know you, Chelsea. You're
And
not.
Kevin won't let us forget them. Trust me. I really wish I had a car seat to put mine in when I pick his ass up.
That would be funny.
Wouldn't it?
Get
That
like
would
just
be
take like
hilarious.
one of them wraps and wrap the baby Beetlejuice on your chest. Carry it around with you the whole time. It'd be so fun. So if anyone hasn't seen Beetlejuice 2, spoiler alert, there is a baby Beetlejuice. Hopefully
and I have the prop replica. That's part of the whole movie.
He really was. He was super cute. But yeah. But speaking of dolls, that is tonight's topic is dolls. Because Mom wanted to continue talking about her favorite haunted things. I can't remember exactly where we left off. I know we covered Chucky.
Well, you know what? We can cover whatever we want because it's been so long. We're just going to do it.
Which ones have we? You know what? One thing I did want to talk about since we're talking about haunted dolls, and it's just like something I recently learned is so we all know the original Annabelle story, how, you know, according to Ed and Lorraine Warren, they got the Raggedy Ann doll known as Annabelle from a nursing student allegedly possessed by a young girl named Annabelle, and she was leaving messages and moving, and supposedly caused a motorcycle accident because somebody disrespected her. Well, it just so happens that there is no documentation on the history of Annabelle. Everything that they have on this doll is by word of mouth from the Warrens. They could never actually find this nursing student. They don't actually know who she is. When they talk about the motorcycle accident, when they give out like the specific details, like the timeline, what highway, they discovered that particular highway didn't even exist when they said that motorcycle accident happened. And then on top of that, it turns out that there was an episode of The Twilight Zone that came out 7 or 8 years prior to Annabelle, and it was called The Living Doll. Now, in this episode of The Living Doll, a little girl is gifted this doll, and I believe the little girl's name was Annabelle, and the doll moves around, does a bunch of creepy shit. They throw it away, it comes back in, and it's trying to hurt the girl's father. And another fun fact about that is Ed Warren, one of his favorite shows was The Twilight Zone. So a lot of people are speculating that they got the whole idea from The Twilight Zone. Just a fun little tip.
Well, it's like anybody else. They wanted to get some more attention to get their name out there. They did do a lot of good.
I mean, I imagine there's been some good, but there's more. And the thing that the thing that disappoints me is there's more actual evidence of Ed being abusive to Lorraine than there is on their haunted cases. And that breaks my heart.
Well, that does me too, but unless we don't know.
No, there's actually paper evidence, like police reports and things like this, that he was actually abusing Lorraine. Mm-hmm.
Well, I would have to see that in person to believe it, to be honest.
Well, you can look up public records online, so that is something you can find. It's crazy, the things that you can dig up. And it's disheartening, but she still loved him.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we don't know both sides to a story, and so that's better to leave it alone because they're both deceased.
Right. So like I said, allegedly, but at the same time, you can't really ignore existing evidence. It's hard. It sucks, but I don't know. But back to
how I feel about evidence.
Well, if it's court records, things like that,
look how many people are locked up that shouldn't be locked up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because they have evidence. Take it all with a grain of salt, you know?
Now, back on target.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll just talk about Robert the Doll.
Do it.
This guy. Oh, I could bring him too.
Mm-hmm.
Robert the Doll is one of a kind. He was handmade. And he was handmade around the 20th century. He was created by the Steiff Company. Everyone knows Steiff Bears. That's who made Robert the Doll. And they're guesstimating he was made around 1904. And he was gifted to a Key West boy by the name of Robert Eugene Otto. And he developed a unique relationship, or should I say unusual relationship, with this toy. It stands 40 inches tall. It's stuffed with wood wool. And it's dressed in a sailor suit that once belonged to Otto and once bore painted features kind of like a clown. So that makes me go, ew.
Well, he was dressed like a clown originally.
Yep. His unusual size indicates he may have been fashioned in the image of his companion. The doll took Robert as his name, while the auto simply went by Gene. And together they went through a lot. I mean, there's stories that went on in that house too. And in the end, the man was just obsessed with the doll. But now he resides in Key West Museum. And there's going to be a Robert the Doll Paracon in February in Key West, maybe tentatively. God knows with all these hurricanes. Yeah. But it's supposed to be really quite a magnificent event. So if it happens, I highly suggest if you can go. I'm kind of tentatively still thinking about going myself. But people would report walking by that house, seeing the doll in the window moving.
Mm-hmm.
And there were other things that it did. What other things were there, Chelsea?
I know that the family said that they could hear him like running down the halls. I think the little boy, was it Gene? Little boy's name? Eugene?
Yeah.
He would talk to the doll and they would hear voices talking back to him.
And he would always say, I didn't do it. Robert did it.
Yep, he would always blame the doll. I feel like there was an account. I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard there was an account where somebody was locked either in a room or a trunk of some sort.
A trunk.
I know that one of the people that took over the house after the original family, they inherited the doll with the house, and I believe the wife had locked Robert into a trunk and he made his way out of the trunk. People would say they would see him moving through the windows. Little kids would be too scared to walk by the house. That's all I can really remember.
Well, what happened was the doll remained with Gene's parents as he went to school, grew, got married. And then when his parents passed away, Robert moved his wife into the house. Or I should say Gene. Well, Anne, his wife, did not like that doll whatsoever. And she demanded that Gene lock the doll up in the attic so he was out of sight.
Mm-hmm.
Gene did it. And I don't think Robert was very happy. Visitors to the house reported hearing footsteps in the attic, a child giggling. Neighborhood children described seeing Robert watching them through the attic window. These same children gave accounts of the doll actually mocking them as they walked in front of the house. Could you imagine having a doll do that?
I don't like dolls, and you know that. So.
Well, the house now, it's called the Artist House, and it is located at 534 Eaton Street. It was built between 1890 and 1898. And it's the house where he received the doll. Gene went on to become an artist in Key West and many other places, honestly. He designed the art gallery at the Fort East Museum and has plans to make his own home a museum, complete with a wax imprint of the artist's hands as a focal point. Though this dream didn't really come to what he wanted it to be, his home became known as the Artist House. Stories of the Robert the Doll's strange behavior became commonplace with those around that house until after Gene's death in 1974. Following Gene's death, tenants renting rooms at the Artist House heard footsteps in the attic room above them. A plumber heard giggling and turned to find the doll had moved across the room on its own. Newspaper reporter Malcolm Ross visited Robert and had a very unique experience. Ross's friends told him Robert's backstory and pointed out the children's furniture that had been purchased by Gene. It was at this point Malcolm noticed a change in the doll's expression, as if he was following the conversation. One of the men made a comment about what an old fool Gene Otto must have been. Robert's expression turned to one of disdain. The reporter stated, "There is definitely an intelligence here," and that doll was listening.
No, thank you.
Now,
Absolutely.
a woman by the name of Myrtle Reuter purchased the Otto home in 1974. She became Robert's companion and kept him when she moved to Von Feister Street 6 years later. In 94, she donated Robert to the Fort East Martello Museum, claiming he moved around her house on his own and was definitely haunted. Myrtle died a few months later, but Robert remained active. Museum staff noticed a shift in energy at the fort after Robert arrived. Though Robert was not initially on display, he started receiving visitors as word spread about his new home. Once he was put on exhibit, cameras and devices malfunctioned in his presence, and soon letters addressed to the doll began to arrive offering apologies for disrespectful behavior, or they would just simply ask for Robert's forgiveness. These letters still continue to arrive every day. Ghost hunters, TV shows, psychics, skeptics, believers, they visit on a regular basis to witness firsthand these strange stories they've heard. Is Robert cursed by voodoo? No, that's a wives' tale. But it was one that went around for years. Does that doll thrive on the energy based around him? Oh, I think so. What do you guys think?
It's definitely intelligent.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Now, there was a part of the beginning that said it was crafted in the image of its origin, like the creator of it. Is that what it was?
No, they think his father went to Stife and had them create it specifically for Robert Gene.
Eugene.
So maybe he liked being a clown back then. I don't know.
Okay. Or he just liked
That or
clowns, maybe.
I was gonna say clowns maybe just made him happy or something.
That could be.
That just makes
So,
it
so we know there
worse.
was already a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and where did he have this made again?
Stife Bears. So that would have been in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
What was really cool was the current caretaker of Robert. He's been at the Michigan Paracon the last couple years, and
Amazing man.
He did not bring Robert the doll with him because Robert stays at the museum, but he did have an exact replica, and he lovingly calls him Roberto. So it's the same size and same likeness, and everybody was taking pictures with him, and Mom loved him. So,
oh, I want to take him home. He's huge.
I know Tim Shaw really wanted him too.
Hi, Mandy.
I would burn my house down with the doll in it. Like,
no, we're not burning any houses down. You better rethink that, because you guys are going to be having a little Robert.
The little Robert's fine with me. I want my own Chucky doll. What are you talking about?
If he gets put up in the cabinet and it comes out on its own, it's getting sent back to you.
Well, rumor has it that Robert can travel between his original vessel and the little Robert the dolls. That's the rumor.
Like anything that is Robert the doll.
Yes. So anything in his likeness, they say that he can travel to.
So if I hear giggling, I need to come down and talk to Robert. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe.
I can do that.
And for those that...
Do you know if, off like kind of random, but do you know if anybody that's investigated Robert the doll has spoke German to it?
That's a good question. We'll have to ask what's his face.
That is a great question.
Because I wonder if you would get a greater response.
You know, very well, he could.
I
All
don't.
right, road
It's
trip to
weird.
Key West, and we're going to speak German to Robert.
Might have to hold off on that trip for a hot minute.
Yeah, probably. They might float to us.
Well, let's hope not.
I
Yeah.
hope not, because it looks terrible. Have you guys seen the videos?
Uh-huh.
A lot of people have already been devastated around us, south of us.
There's 11-hour backups on the expressway.
And there's
one
no
else
gas
needs
for
it no
miles.
more.
No flights. All the airports are closed. Like, people are stuck.
Disney closed.
Yep.
Craziness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So tell us about Chucky, Chelsea. That's your favorite doll.
Chucky. I mean, Chucky's actually based off of Robert the Doll. That's kind of where they got the ideation. Don Mancini, who is the director and creator of Chucky, came up with the idea in his early 20s while he was still in college for film and writing. He wanted to do dolls because it wasn't really a subject that was touched in modern horror at the time. The only thing that people really knew about were from older episodes of shows like The Twilight Zone, The Living Doll. So he thought, okay, this is a great opportunity to introduce dolls into horror. And little did he know he would make a cult legend.
Literally,
And he, as far as I know, he is behind every single Chucky movie, the television series, except for that one shitty ass remake where they made Chucky a robot.
Oh my God.
I never saw that one.
A
I didn't watch
robot?
it. There was a Chucky remake. It came out, I want to say, in like 17, 18 or some shit. And they changed the storyline, and he was actually a robot that started killing people, kind of like an AI thing. All I know is he killed a cat in the beginning of the movie, so I was like, I'm not watching it.
I guess.
But other than that shitty ass remake, Don Mancini is behind all of the Chucky movies, the Chucky series, which takes place after the movies. One thing I didn't realize, because I guess I didn't think to, was I think it was in 2017, The Cult of Chucky, when they introduced Nikki. What the hell is that girl's name? I don't know that one.
Yeah,
Nika. The actress that plays Nika is I can't remember his last name. The guy that plays Chucky, that is his daughter. Who plays Nika. So at the end of, I think, Curse of Chucky, she is possessed by Chucky. So she basically takes Dad's place. So I thought that was really, really cool. But then, you look at her, it's like, oh yeah, that's definitely his daughter, because she looks just like her daddy. So I thought it was really funny. But there's actually thank you. There's actually a free documentary you can watch on YouTube. I watched it the other day, and it covers the kind of like the history of the movies and how it got started. And there's interviews with the cast and crew of the movie. One thing I also didn't realize, but I kind of feel like I should have, and I feel a little bit dumb, is Don Mancini is gay. And that makes total sense now that I look at it. So, because that's why Glenn/Glenda was made the way he was, because Don Mancini wanted to introduce a gay character. But it really worked out for the franchise, I think. And I love Glenn. I think he was
I love Glenn.
Character.
I hope I can clean him up. He's cool.
He's super
Except when he
cute.
pees himself.
Oh, poor guy.
I know.
One thing I also didn't realize in Seed of Chucky, when they were like in the beginning, when it was basically breaking the fourth wall, and they were showing that Chucky and Tiffany were movie characters, and then the actual Chucky and Tiffany came back to life and started killing the cast and crew of this movie inside the movie. Those were the actual producers and writers of the Chucky movies. So, like, Glenn's first kill is the main He's like one of the main producers and main guys that brought Chucky to life. And there's an interview with his daughter because she's the one that did the documentary I watched, where she watched the scene where her daddy dies because he gets decapitated, and she was completely horrified. And her dad's like, honey, no, it's fine. It's fake. It's fake. But she's like, no, I saw you die.
Aw.
That would you never think about that, but you would
Mhm.
that would be traumatizing to see something like that. Like,
Well, and
Yes,
it's
it would.
it's the same for the girl who plays Nika, because when Chucky first came out, she was little, because she's not much older than I am, I don't think. I think she's maybe around 35 to 37. So she was
Oh.
young when the Chucky franchise started, and she's seeing her dad die in these movies, and she was on the set when he was recording the voice of Chucky screaming at the end of the second movie when he was being like melted and shit. And she can recall just getting so upset because she could hear her daddy dying. And so she like went home and was a total wreck about the whole thing.
That
But
poor
that,
woman's probably got the PTSD.
well, no,
no
now
kidding.
she just channels it in her acting, because now she is Chucky, because now in the storyline she's possessed by him. So
Oh, nice. Well, there's
Mhm.
another doll that everybody knows and loves. Elmo.
I'm sorry, what?
Elmo.
Can you imagine hearing that go off in the middle of the night because
The
something?
furry red Elmo doll. And remember Talking Elmo?
Yeah, like Tickle Me Elmo?
They were like started being sold in 96.
Mhm.
Early Elmos giggled when they were tickled. They acquired larger vocabularies as the years went on, but that doesn't explain the Elmo Knows Your Name doll purchased by the Bowman family in 2008 for their 2-year-old son, James. Elmo Knows Your Name was programmed to speak its owner's name along with a few other phrases. But when the Bowmans changed Elmo's batteries, he started ad-libbing. In a sing-songy voice, the doll chanted, "Kill James, kill James,
Damn.
kill James."
That's
Not
not very
something
good.
anybody wants to really hear. Now
No,
that would
thank
freak
you.
me out.
Yeah, I did hear stories that some Elmos kind of went rogue, as you can say, just like the Furby dolls. I mean, there were accounts of the Furbies taking on lives of their own. It's not
I
that I
want
would have any experience in that shit.
Furbies. So why can't they bring them back? I
Well, they
want
did
them.
bring them back, but they're not the same because they have
No, they
digital
need to
Oh.
make.
dolls.
They need to make them the same exact way they did, and
Yeah.
just bring them back. They need to re-release them.
I had 9 of them.
I would love to set them all up and have them talking to each other and purring
Oh.
at each other.
I put them all in back of Chelsea's car. She was so mad at me.
I walk out one day and there's like fucking 12 Furbies in the back window. I'm like, get the shit out of my car.
And they all started talking on her way home.
Like, absolutely fucking not. Nope.
It was perfect.
They're gonna be on the road scene.
I adore Furbies.
I mean, honestly,
I don't like dolls, but I love Furbies.
I did love my all-white Furby that I had. I adored that thing, and I played with it constantly. And then we got a it was a Furby, but it was Gizmo from the Gremlins. And then
That was my favorite.
And then we also had the E.T. little animatronic that was basically like a Furby.
Oh, it was so good. His little finger would glow when he talked to you.
Except toward the end of his animatronic lifespan, he started saying "fuck you." I'm like, what?
He
So
did.
I'm not sure how that happened.
I can't imagine. I cannot imagine.
And then my Furby did start talking at 3:00 in the morning. At one point, I would hide her under a box to make sure there was no light touching the sensors, and it would keep talking. And then I'd flip it over to take the batteries out, and lo and behold, the batteries were already out. So I'm like, all right, so we're gonna bury this fucker right down in the toy box, and we're not gonna touch it for about 20 years. Yeah.
Well, no worries about that. Now, what about Mandy, the doll? Do you remember Mandy?
No.
She's in the Kuznel Museum in Canada, and she does not play well with others. The staff says they must keep her in a separate display case. When she is displayed with other dolls, she knocks them all over. Sounds like something I'd do. The staff's also reported their lunches disappear and that visitor cameras often fail when taking pictures of the doll. Mandy is a porcelain doll, and she was manufactured in Europe around 1910. The woman who donated her reportedly told the museum she was getting rid of the doll because all it would do is cry all night. Wouldn't you like that one in your house?
No.
No?
When I set up Donna's famous doll museum, none of them things better follow me home. I'll be calling Chelsea, build a cage for this one and follow me home.
Well, there's a God, where is it? It's a house where the people have put up cameras because all they do is collect old dolls like me. And they've had cameras constantly recording since 2009. And they've picked up some really wild things in the house. The one that really they still can't explain, nobody can, and I would love to see the footage again, is there's a little boy, a ghostly boy, appearing at the bottom of the staircase just outside the room with all the dolls.
That's crazy.
That would be awesome. And then there's Ruby, the haunted doll. She could never stay in one place at a time, and the owners would find the doll in different rooms of the house. And when you picked up that doll, you would get feelings of sadness and you'd be nauseous. The former owners stated that Ruby was passed down from generation to generation, just like you're going to get. The doll's spooky origin traces back to a young family relative who was said to have passed away while clutching the doll. After jumping between different family members, Ruby finally found her forever home at the Traveling Museum of Paranormal. And the visitors still get that overwhelming feeling of sorrow or nausea. Yes, Kirsten, you're right.
It was also common, especially in the Victorian era, when dolls were made for children, they were made to be fashioned after the child, and they would use the child's hair.
Yep.
So
Which
a
is
lot of
Many of
dolls,
mine have real hair.
a lot of dolls at that time
No.
period were made with real human hair,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I think is part of the reason why a lot of people feel that dolls make good conduits for spirit attachment, because they have actual human remains made with them. But a lot of the argument too is because obviously dolls look like people, we automatically assume that they will take on a life. And I think that's where a lot of that also stems from.
Well, I got a nice piece of information. My Beetlejuice baby doll has real hair.
Oh yeah? Okay.
Oh, you'll pick right up on that when you see him Saturday. How about Charlie the doll?
No, I don't know who that one is.
He was first discovered in the attic of an old home in upstate New York in 1968. He was locked away inside a trunk with newspapers dating back to the 1930s and a yellowed piece of paper that had the Lord's Prayer written on it. The family placed the doll on display with the other dolls. Soon, though, Charlie seemed to move on its own, swapping places with other toys. Not long after that, the family's youngest daughter claimed that Charlie spoke to her in the middle of the night. The parents just, ignored it, thinking it's just imagination. But the little girl and her siblings were terrified of Charlie. They refused to go near it. Scratches appeared on the little girl's body. The family decided to lock Charlie back up in the attic trunk. Charlie now resides at a local artisan in Beverly, Massachusetts oddity shop, just minutes away from Salem.
Good stuff.
So I want to stop there and see him.
There is one thing I want to note. I've been noticing it within the last week. There's been an article published in MLive that talks about the cross in the woods up near Petoskey. And
I'd seen that.
We're very familiar with this area. However, this article came out obviously for Halloween purposes. They're talking about the museum that is attached to the cross in the wood. They have like hundreds of different mannequins that show off the different habits that nuns wore through the ages. There's hundreds of different dolls of nuns. But the way this article was written, it made it sound like it's a super creepy place. And now I'm starting to see paranormal pages talking about the cross in the woods and how they think it's creepy and how there might be evil. And I'm just going to say pump the fucking brakes. Okay.
Yes.
Because number one, this is a place of religion. And whether you're Catholic, Christian, I don't give a shit what religion, you need to have some respect.
That's right.
This is a very beautiful property. And like everybody knows how I feel. Like I'm pagan number one, but I also have some Christian values, and I love the cross in the woods. It's just a beautiful, peaceful place.
It is. It's a beautiful, beautiful place.
I'm going to be livid if I hear about these dumb paranormal people, especially these YouTube enthusiasts, go there and try to make a big stink and say that there's demonic attachments. I'll lose my fucking mind. So I just want to make a little public announcement. If you are going to the cross in the woods, yes, it's a place I highly recommend. It's beautiful. If you want to see the nun museum, it is kind of creepy, but
it's not haunted.
Don't be going in there saying, oh, it's haunted. There's demons. No, fuck you. No, there's not. Be respectful. That place is for everybody. Don't be ruining it. Don't do it.
And it's connected to a very active church.
Yeah, very active. So that's why.
And then a priest is there. Show respect. Don't be douchebags.
Yes.
It's not haunted. Don't believe everything you read.
No.
I go there and I get my holy water, for God's sakes.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing. You want some fresh holy water? You can go to the cross in the woods and get it. You want to pray for Florida or pray for a loved one and light some candles? You can go to the cross in the woods and do that. It is for a positive thing. You are not going to go there and spin off that it's haunted with malevolent bullshit, because it's not. So don't even think about it. Don't
True story.
It. Don't do it.
True story.
Oh, okay. My rant.
Breathe, Chelsea. Breathe.
And rant.
Well, it's just I've been seeing that, and I'm like, no. Let's not. Let's just not.
Well, and these journalists need to stop this shit, because that's going to cause issues.
Yes. I mean, you've got all these dumbass YouTubers causing enough issues. I mean, like all these famous people, Sam and Colby and the twins and Exploring with Josh. I can't stand them. And let me tell you why. They're going to reputable places and they're like, oh, it's a demon. What? No, it's not. You just want views. And I get it. If you want to do things for entertainment purposes only, do you, boo. I don't care. If that's what makes you money, I don't care. But don't go ruining places. Don't be disrespecting properties.
That's it. Have some respect.
And it just drives me nuts. Like, I don't care if you're a fan of these pages. Like I said, that's all on you. That's your opinion. I don't care. Like, watch it for fun, but don't be like that. Don't believe everything you see, because it's ridiculous. All they do is go in
and be a follower.
And they're all just dude bro hunters, and it drives me nuts. Like, if you want to be Zach Bagans that bad, then go buy your stupid Affliction t-shirts or whatever the fuck it's called and do it on your own time. But stop disrespecting places. This is what's giving the paranormal a bad name.
It's true
people
story.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got good people that truly care about this like we do. And when you see this happen, it's totally disgusting.
It's so stupid. Oh my
It
god.
is.
It just makes me
Because
mad.
we're already fighting a battle all the time.
Yeah. We've already got people that are telling us we're full of shit and lying through our teeth, but then you have the people that are taking advantage of that and just
Actually full of shit and lying.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So the people like us that are out there just trying to do what we do and help people, we're not even out here trying to prove anything, because number one, if somebody doesn't believe in the paranormal, they don't want to believe in the paranormal.
No.
And that's okay. You don't have to. It's not a requirement. We just want to help people that are having issues or think they're having issues with the paranormal. That's what we do. But then when you have all these little bastards running around YouTube saying everything's a demon, then nobody's going to think anybody's reputable. And that's a problem. That is a big problem. And I don't like it.
Big.
I don't like it.
Chelsea don't like it. Did you get it?
I don't like it.
There you go. Is it out of your system?
For now.
For 5 minutes. For 5 minutes. How about the Island of the Dolls?
Oh, that was on an episode of Ghost Adventures.
Let's not go there then.
Listen, I got a bone to pick with that episode. Let me tell you why. So when they went to the Island of Dolls, you know, Ghost Adventures is always like, oh, we're going to go to this place and get evidence that it's haunted and blah, blah, blah. And yet, Zach Bagans takes allegedly haunted dolls with him. Okay, if you're trying to prove that a place is haunted, don't you think you should leave your haunted objects at home?
Don't Zach it up.
Yeah, don't Zach it up.
Why? Why would you take a haunted item to a place that you're trying to prove is haunted? That's like making everything obsolete. Even if that item's even haunted. But you know what
It's
I mean?
not.
Like, what? I can't with people.
He's part of the reason why we have this happening.
He really is.
Definitely.
All right, the Island of the Dolls. After Chelsea gets over everything.
I concur.
It's located on a canal system south of Mexico City. The isle is completely covered by broken and decaying dolls that hang from trees. The dolls were placed there by Julian Barrera, the former owner of the island, who festooned the island with dolls in an effort to appease the spirit of a girl who drowned nearby. The site is only accessible by boat. Given its backstory, the Island of the Dolls is a popular tourist destination, just like we talked about. Those who visit the island and walk among the dolls often claim the figures whisper to them. Visitors are also encouraged to leave offerings or other dolls on the island to add to the collection. I personally think that is a huge ass gimmick.
Yeah.
Hell, we had the trees full of dolls right up here, and where was that, Cummins? Or Fairview? One of them, they had those dolls hanging all over the trees for years.
I love driving by that, but they had to take it down because it was causing a lot of issues.
No, they took it down because it was time to clean it up.
Right. And they also had like issues with trespassing and people.
Yeah.
You know.
They've pretty much gotten rid of all like the shoe trees too.
Yeah.
They've gotten rid of shoe trees and doll trees.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a good thing. You see bodies hanging out of them next.
I mean, probably.
Well, there's Letta the doll, also known as Letta Me Out.
let me out of
Oh, I've heard
here.
of that one.
It truly is one of the scariest looking haunted dolls out there. I mean, you guys should look up a picture. It's creepy. The child size figurine is said to be about 200 years old.
Oh
It's made of carved wood and human hair. The doll's owner, Carrie Walton, claims to have found Lita in the 70s while exploring a deserted home in Australia. Walton brought back the figurine to his home in Queensland, and afterwards, strange events started. Household items shifted, scuff marks appeared on the floor, his children complained of nightmares. One night they woke up screaming that Letta was talking and moving around on its own. The dogs turned aggressive whenever they were near the doll, while guests claimed to see the doll move. Yes, that's her. At some point, Walton tried to sell off Letta.
Yep.
But he admitted that he physically couldn't get him out of the car.
That thing is beyond. It should have never been made.
Well, look where it came from. Maybe the Aborigines made him. You don't know. Walton did assert that Letta's origins trace back to Eastern Europe.
I actually watched.
And he believes the doll is a vessel by the spirit of a boy who drowned many years ago.
If you want to watch it, really.
Want to watch a what?
What's happening? Go ahead, Mom. I'll say it after.
Okay. Letta currently tours around Australia with Walton, sitting on the laps of those who are brave enough to take a picture with the grinning figure. I'd get a picture took with him.
No thanks.
Mm-hmm.
So what were you saying, Chelsea?
So what I wanted to say was I learned about Letta the doll from the Side-Eye Guy, which is somebody I follow on YouTube, and he lives in Australia, and he's a known skeptic. He does like comedy bashes on the stupid YouTubers, and then he also does ghost hunting and things like that. And he went to see Letta the doll, and he held Letta the doll, and he did note, even as a skeptic, that the doll felt kind of weird and it almost felt like a real child sitting in his lap. So if anybody wants to check that out, I would say just look up Side-Eye Guy Letta the doll and you'll find the video. Side-Eye Guy always wears a white mask. You don't see his actual identity. So that's how you know you found the right one. But it's a really good video. It's very informative, and they talk about the history of the doll in that video.
Cool.
Creepy.
That's all.
So, Conrad, you got any doll stories?
Absolutely not. I've never had anything move because I don't even like stuffed animals. So my dogs don't even like stuffed animals, so I don't like stuffed animals. My dog growl at them, so I'm like, no. Jordan got me an elephant when we first started dating. And it was a cow. It was a cow. And Brita sat there for a good hour and growled at it. And
well, if Amy was still here, she would have ate it.
I wish she would have ate it. Drop it on the floor and bait everybody while she sat in the chair, and then if they went near it, then she'd lunge at them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. True story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She was a good dog.
No, never had any doll issues. Never had any doll stories. I don't like haunted dolls. I don't like dolls.
He loves sleeping with dolls.
The Amish have it right.
So
don't
here's
put
a question for you
on your doll.
Ouch.
Look good.
Did a doll do that to you?
No.
Was that you trying to get your phone out of the pie in the oven?
No, those were burn marks. This was from somebody almost pulling his leg off today. Yeah. He decided to
What I
jump
was
out of the
gonna
Jeep
ask,
before I
though, is
had him out of
Conrad.
his halter.
Good gravy.
Now he's passed out.
Can I ask my question?
Sure.
Yes? Okay. Conrad, have you ever had any instances where you came across an object you felt had an attachment?
Absolutely. Remember, the biggest one that comes to mind is the antique store in Holly with you.
Tell us about it.
Was it a doll?
so which
that it
thing?
was it a doll? I don't
Yeah.
remember.
I don't remember. That was like
What
12
about the
years ago.
doll at Stimson?
Um.
Oh, a Dia.
Oh yeah, Dia. I don't
That's
think about
right.
it
It gave you a
much.
nice bruise. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a bite mark on my.
I think you need to have another face.
No, I'm good.
It was like on your knee or something.
Oh yeah, it was like near
No,
my
you don't want
knee.
to?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, because like at Simpson Hospital in Eaton Rapids, you're supposed to leave a Dia an offering or else a Dia will harm you. And Conrad's like, fuck that. I ain't leaving her shit. And then
I
Then the
have a
next day
really
he's like,
bad.
oh.
I have a bad complex of like I don't back down to anything and I don't bow down to anything except for myself. So it's really hard for me to give into that kind of stuff.
I
So
bet
I
you'll leave
challenge
something
it.
next time we go.
I mean, I've been there I feel like twice now, no, one time since. No, not happening.
Well, guys, we've killed an hour.
I know, I was just about to say my computer's been a little laggy, so that's why I keep kind of pausing, but I think we just about covered it, y'all. Do we know what we're talking about next week?
No. Per usual, you know.
Hold on, let
Why
me
don't
see
you
if I
guys
can
look
pull
it
it up.
up?
I'll look it up, but in the meantime, Mom, just give everybody a reminder about the Jeep Creep.
October 12th, Saturday, noon to 5, 6674 West M72, Grayling, Michigan. Jeep meet called Jeepers Creepers for Toys for Tots. We have lots of boxes set up for your donations. And for those donations, you're going to get a day of fun, food, shopping, baskets, drawings. There's a radio host going to be there from 98.5. Tipsy and Witchy podcast will be there. There'll be readers there, the crystal ball, the tarot, the oracle, the intuitive touch, the spirit talker. And we told Kevin he has to leave clothes on.
Yeah.
So you're
We'll
all
see how
safe,
that-
everyone.
Yes.
Yep.
And there's going to be a huge, huge blow up duck so everyone can get their picture took with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll have Snickers in my Jeep waving at everybody so you can get a picture of him too.
Yep. And then Baby Beetlejuice will be there. Maybe Living Dead Dolls Annabelle will be there. We'll see.
So if you want photo ops, you're going to get photo ops. If you want to talk to us about being on the podcast, come on over. If you want to talk to us about an investigation, come on in. Just bring that toy for the kids.
Yep. Bring a toy to pass or a cash donation, whichever works best for you. Either will work great for those kids.
And bring a chair because I'm pretty sure we're going to need chairs. If you want to sit down, you better bring a chair.
Yep.
We have chairs, but I don't think there's going to be enough.
And then next week, stay tuned. We are talking about hauntings, murders, and vanishings. So that should be a super fun show. And like always, it's going to be on Tuesday at 7 o'clock. If you are not following us on YouTube, be sure you hit the subscribe button and then you get notifications so you know that when we are going live, you get that notification. But that is all, folks. We are calling it a night.
And on that note,
Everybody stay safe. For our Florida friends and for our out west friends, try to be safe. Just be careful. We love you guys. We will see you next week. So stay spooky.
We love you all.
Bye.
Bye.